Bob, Mike is part of one of the greatest moments in NHL history.
Do tell.
Well, yeah. and it's a piece of video.
Tell me, please.
It's a piece of video that's the piece of video that stands out there every All-Star game, and that is Mike Murphy was standing beside Gordie Howe at Joe Louis Arena because Mike was the LA Kings rep at the All-Star game, and Howe was there coming back to Detroit.
Yeah.
And Bud Lynch is the PA announcer at the arena, and he says, now welcome, coming back to, Hockey Town, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, and right beside him is Mike Murphy.
Yeah, there's a better story than that. That was amazing night. But that whole weekend, reporters just inundated our dressing room. Do you know who I sat beside for those 3 days I was there at the All-Star game? Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe.
Yeah.
He was number 9. I was number 12. He sat right to my right. And almost every day I'd have to vacate my spot because of the reporters that came in. And it was the type of reporters that you get in the game today, where you have masses of them coming in. And that happened all weekend long. And every time they cleared, and I sat down, Gordie would lean over to me and say, Mike, I didn't think he knew my name, first of all, but then he said, Mike, I'm so sorry about this. I'm keep taking your spot. I really apologize for it. And this was like 3 days. Gordie's apologizing to me. I wish I'd been smart enough to say, Gordie, listen, here's the deal. Sign your sweater off to me. How's that? Would that be any good? I never thought he even asked for a stick or anything. He was such a gentleman and so gracious. And to follow up with the story, the game went on and we had a good team. Bowman was coaching. We had Lafleur and Schutt and Robinson. And as the game went into the third, I was a right winger. Lafleur was a right winger. Howe was a right winger. I got fewer and fewer shifts. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, Gordie, where you go? You take Murph's shift this time. And next time, Murph, you sit there again. Gordie, where you go? He's double shifting Gordie the whole time. And I'm thinking, hell, he's 65 years old. And I'm sitting here like, anyway, so that happened at the end of the game. And I was more than pleased to just sit there and say, hey, Gordie, where you go? Nice shift, So it was quite an experience.
But but there's a piece of video, if you go on YouTube or you go on social media, when they see the announcement, and I actually think you told him you better go out and take a bow. You pushed him out a little bit on the blue line.
Well, he didn't want to take a bow because he's such a humble guy,
right?
But this crowd was relentless. They weren't going to stop until Gordie acknowledged them, and I think Reed Larson and myself were both saying, Gordie, go. Like, Gordie, do a little skate around here. Everybody wants to see you, Gordie, But he was one of my few, although I had another run-in with Gordie years later. He would be, he would come to a lot of the All-Star games and sign autographs. And I remember we were at a breakfast at the All-Star game for, I don't remember who the breakfast was for, but he came right up to me and started talking to me. Hey, Murph, how you doing? What's going on? I'm thinking, Gordie actually knows my name. Is that any good? So, yeah, I wish I'd gotten something signed by him at that time, but I didn't. And
are you a collector? Memories. Are you a collector?
Not really. But no? I do have some nice pieces that I've kept over the years, mostly by accident, Bob. I've got my old LA King jerseys, both home and away, which are purple and gold, but Jack Kent Cooke told me, no, Michael, my boy, no, they're not purple and gold. It's forum blue and forum gold. Remember that, not purple and yellow. He didn't like that at all. So, because I called him one day in a media, I said, I like our purple jerseys better than our yellow jerseys or something like that. He didn't like that at all. So,
I've never talked to you about him. What was he like?
Well, very private. At that time, he was going through a divorce, so he was spending most of his time in Vegas. So we didn't see him much. But when he did come, and my second year in Los Angeles, I had the best year of my career. I think it was 74, 75, 73, 70. I can't remember exactly. But I by just after Christmas, I had all my bonuses. And I had this large group of bonuses from my contract in St. Louis, where I signed it 3 years earlier. And I said to Jake Milford and Bob Pulford, I said, is there any chance I could negotiate these bonuses a little further, because I'm, it's January and I've got most of my bonuses here. And they said, well, you got to talk to Mr. Cooke. So Mr. Cooke was in town one day and I went and talked to him and he said, Michael, my boy, we will take care of that next year when you sign another contract with us. So he scurried me out of the office. I can tell you that. We weren't there long, but he was fine with me. I think he was tough on Pulford and Milford, who were the people running our team, but not unlike probably most owners are in the sport.
Yeah, owners tough on the middlemen, but love the players, right?
Yeah, for sure.